Welcome back, friends. So in the previous video we have completed this one here. So whenever user will click here, user can open the file, created file, and user can see the editor here. So now here what we are going to do. So here we are going to see how user can save this file and how user can save the data for this file. So now without wasting any time, let's get into it. So now we are under the coding section here. So first of all, what I'm going to do here, so I will go to the pages, and in the pages let's go to the dashboard page. So here I'm going to the components first. So let's go to the dashboard component, and here we will be having the file component here. So here we will go to the file component.jsx. So now here you can see that we have the current file here, as this one is a created file. So you can see that we can add this file and it will be having the data as well. So now what we are going to do here, so here I'm going to create a new so here I'm going to pass the data. So let's pass the data here. So let me create here only. So here I'm going to create one state, so that is the file data, and here I'm going to set the file data. So set file data, and here we have the use state here. So now we have to import the use state as well. So let's import that. So we have imported the use state from React, and now we are also going to use effect. So here what I'm going to do here, so here I'm going to use the use effect here. So that will be based upon the data here. So whenever our data will be updated for the current file, so or it will run only one time here. So if we have the current file, so let's see that if we have the current file, then what we are going to do, so we are going to set the data for current file dot data dot data. So this one is the data is a field, field is there, and then this one data is also the another subfield in which our file data is there. Now I'm going to pass this to the code editor. So that is file data. So we have the file data here, and yeah, just this one, that is file data, and it will be by default like this. And here I'm going to send the file data. So let me just do this file data. File data, set file data, set file data, and then here I'm also going to pass that is the file data. We have the file data here, and here and then here I'm going to write previous file data. So because here we have to show that in the header, we have to show that if this is file is modified or not. So previous file data, so that will be current file dot data dot data. So just this one, and just we are going to save this. So now first of all, let's go to the header. In the header I'm going to get the file data and previous file data. So here what I'm going to do here, so here we will check if previous file data is there or not. So here I'm going to check if file data is not equals to the previous file data. So if this one is not equal, then here we are going to write the paragraph tag with class name. This one same will be there, yeah, and here let it be h3 or h5, and here I'm going to write modified like this, modified fight. Like this, and just close the h5 here. So h5, and here I'm going to write we are going to also see this disabled. So if file data is same as previous file data, then it will be just same. Where we have the error, so let's see. Yeah, here we have the error. Here will be and just save this. Now let's see the changes. Here we have some errors, so let's see what are those errors. So file date is not defined. I think it is compiling again. Compiled successfully. So where is file date? Data, this is file date. We have some typo errors. Yeah, so now you can see that it is actually not modified is showing here. So let's go to the home, let's go to the dashboard again, or let me reload this. Let's go to the dashboard, and here our file will be fetched. Now you can see that by default not modified is there. So now let's go to the code editor. So I'm under the code editor here. So here we have to fetch, that is file data, and set file data here. So here we have to fetch, and here what I'm going to do, here I'm going to e.target.value is there. Yeah, that is good. We have this set data here. So instead of this, what we are going to do, so we are going to use file data. So we are going to use file data here, or we can do one thing. Instead of this file data, here I'm going to pass data and set data. Just save this, and here data, set data, just save this. So now you can see the changes here. So our data is null by default. So our data is null here, and here we can set the data. So here we have the data here. So now let's see if we will try to change something here. So I'm changing, that is import. Now you can see that we have this modified return here. So we have this modified return here. So when I'm deleting everything, now you can see that modify is not coming. So I'm writing here, you can see that we have the save button as well. So this means that this is working very successfully. So now let's change the modified a little bit, and here margin start I'm just going to write as 2, margin start 2 here, and I'm going to write text primary or text danger, just like this. And now when I'm trying here, so you can see that we have modified, and then we have the save button as well. So now let's move and make this save button working here, so that user can save the file, and when user will go back and open the file again, our data will be modified. So let's do that. So first of all, we will create the action creators and action for this one here, because we have to pass the data to the Redux as well. So for that here we just need only header.jsx, and here first of all I'm going to the action types. Here we have the folder action file action types as well. So here what I'm going to do, so I'm going to create new action that is set file data. So we have set file data. Just save this. Now let's go to the action creators for the file folders action creators. And here what we are going to do, so here I'm going to create a new action. So that is set file data. Here we will be having the payload and we will be using types.setFileData and there will be a payload here. So now we have the files. Now here what I'm going to do, so here we will be having export const update file data. So we will be using update file data as we have to update the file data to the different location here. So here what I'm going to do, so here we have the file ID here, we need the file ID and then we have the data here. So here what we are going to do, so here we, as you can see that, so here what is the error, so error is undefined reading data. Yeah, there is actually I have to refresh it, so that's why that's not a problem, we will fix these bugs, don't worry about this. So here what I'm doing here, so I'm invoking the Firestore and in the collections we have the files and then I'm finding the document related to the file ID and we are updating the data here. So we are updating the data, updating the file, and here we will be having the data as the updated data here. Here make sure to add braces because we have the data here. Now then we are dispatching and setting our file data and here we have data as this data here. So data, our new data is like this. Now after this we will be having the alert, file saved successfully, file saved successfully. Just save this. Now what we are going to do, so we have to move to the reducer here. We will move to the file folder reducer and here we will be having the new case set file data and here we are going to return here. So we have the file data and here file data, what we are going to do, so we will be having the file data here, not file data will be there, so we have the user files here. So first of all we have the user files, we have the user files here. Now you can see that in the payload what we are passing, so in the payload we are passing the, where it is, we are passing the file ID and data here. So first of all we have to fetch the file using the file ID, so we have to fetch the file, so user files dot map and here what we are going to do, so here we are going to see if file dot doc ID, if file doc ID will be equals to the action dot payload dot file ID. So because we have passed file ID to the payload here, so then we are going to, what we are going to do, so we are going to assign the object. So here we are going to write return object dot assign or we can do different thing here. So let's do the different thing. So here I'm creating the constant, I'm creating the constant here. So here we have the file ID and data from the action.payload. So here we have the current file. Let's get all files here. So we have the all files and so here we have the all files here. And then here what we need, so here we need the current file. So current file, So we have the current file. So from the all files, we are going to find the file whose document ID will be equals to the file ID. And then we have the current file here. So we are going to update the data for the current file. So current file dot data will be equals to the data from the payload. And then we are going to set the all files. So all files dot index of current file, like this we can pass as well, but we are not going to do here. Here we already have the current file here, so just we are going to return something state, and then we have the user files. In the user files we are going to map through the state dot user files dot map, and here we are going to check if file dot id document id is equals to file id, then we are going to return the current file, otherwise we are going to return the simple file. So just this thing we are going to do. So let's see if this is working or not. So our page is refreshing. Now let's go to the dashboard and let's go here. So here I am adding anything here like this one. So this one is modified, and one more thing we have to do here. So we have to go to the header, and here we have to import dispatch use dispatch. So we have to import the use dispatch from the React router DOM use dispatch, and we already have the file data, and we also need one thing, that is file ID. So let's go to the file component, and here we are going to pass the file ID as a file ID here. So we have the file ID, and here let's get the file ID here. So here what we are going to do, so whenever user will click on the save button, so whenever user will click here on click, then we are going to just dispatch. So we are going to dispatch update file data, and here we are going to pass the file ID, and we are going to pass the file data here. Here we have some errors like this. Yeah, just save this. So now we can see the changes here. So this one is modified. Let's click on save button. So we should get saved successfully. So I hope there is not any error. Click on save. Click on save. So here actually we have the error here. Just forgot about this. Just click on save here. So actually we have the error because of this. So you can see that it is not providing export name, that is React Router DOM. So actually by mistake I have imported use dispatch from React Router DOM, so which is not possible. So for that, here we have to import it from the use dispatch from the React Redux, Just save this. Now the error will be gone. Reload this. Just click on dashboard. Just click on index.jsx, and here when you will type, so you can see that this warning is there. So this is just this error is just because of this one. So in the code editor, so whenever we will go to the code editor, we have the handle key down event here. So that error is because of this. Just comment this one. So here now we don't have any. Just click on save button. So we have saved. Now you can see that file is saved successfully. So whenever I will go back and refresh this page, so here you can see the as well that we will be having the data. So that file name is index.jsx. So let it be here. So here just click on index.jsx. So you can see that we have this one updated data here, but this is not happening real time. So this should happen real time here. So when I'm saving the data here, so here file saved successfully and the modified and this save button will also get disabled. So this is not getting disabled here. So for that, what we are going to do here, so let's go to the file component. So in the file component here I'm going to add the data here. So if current file is there and when the data is also changing, so that is current file dot data. So whenever this is changing here, then our current file data will also be updated. So now let's see that. So you can I'm clearing this all and here writing import react from react and just click on save button. Now you can see that file saved successfully here and still we are getting it is not modified. So here we have the current file data here dot data, and then so here we can do one thing here. So here I'm going to write the previous file data, and here I'm also going to set previous file data and this one as same. So here I'm going to pass the previous file data as previous file data. Just save this. So now you can see the changes here. So our previous file data is same. Now let's do the changes, and here let's create something like app, and here's anything like this. Just click on save now. Just save this. File saved successfully. Now actually this one is the bug here. So as I'm going back here and then clicking on this one, you can see that it is saved successfully here. So this bug is there, so that we are going to solve when we are going to solve other bugs. So we will fix all bugs here in the upcoming videos. So for today this is enough. If you have any queries, please comment in the comment section. I will definitely respond to that. Allah, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.